The first words from a grieving king.
I know that her death brings great sadness to so many of you, and I share that sense of loss beyond measure with you all.
As a nation mourns the passing of more than just a monarch.
Felt we had to come here today and just pay our respects because she's always been part of our lives and we're very unlikely to ever have a queen in our lives again.
How Queen Elizabeth is being remembered throughout the Commonwealth.
She meant my country, yeah. And she was the most fantastic woman. So as if you're looking even at it from women's rights, she's certainly the leader.
Good evening. I'm Lisa LaFlamme on special assignment for CityNews from London. A city and a nation experiencing a full range of emotions tonight. Grief, certainly, at the loss of Queen Elizabeth, the only monarch that most of us have ever known. There are warm memories also being shared of her 7 decades on the throne, and a mix of both optimism and uncertainty as a new king takes the throne. King Charles III, a man still struggling with his own personal grief, as he addressed the world today.
To my darling Mama, as you begin your last great journey to join my dear late Papa, I want simply to say this: thank you. Thank you for your love and devotion to our family and to the family of nations you have served so diligently all these years. May flights of angels sing thee to thy rest.
In a city adorned with tributes to Her Majesty the Queen, a longtime heir delivers his first words as King Charles III. And they came in the form of a tender tribute.
My beloved mother was an inspiration, an example to me and to all my family. And we owe her the most heartfelt debt any family could owe to their mother, for her love, affection, guidance, understanding, and example. I know that her death brings great sadness to so many of you, and I share that sense of loss beyond measure with you all.
That sense of loss shared by those gathered at St. Paul's Cathedral for a service of prayer and reflection.
We shall not all die, but we shall be changed.
While prayer and worship remain a centerpiece for the royal family, the new king also expressed his willingness to look beyond the doors of the Church of England, an institution to which he reaffirmed his commitment today.
Whatever may be your background or beliefs, I shall endeavor to serve you with loyalty, respect, and love, as I have throughout my life.
Your Majesty.
As Charles assumes a new title, changes are also on the way for his family. His wife Camilla, who joined the king outside Buckingham Palace today, becomes queen consort. The role comes without any of the traditional powers once associated with the queen. The charity work and key projects that once meant so much to the prince are now being handed off to others, including William, who today assumed the title once held by his father.
With Catherine beside him, our new Prince and Princess of Wales will, I know, continue to inspire and lead our national conversations, helping to bring the marginal to the centre ground, where vital help can be given. I want also to express my love for Harry and Meghan as they continue to build their lives overseas.
The service today marks the first large event at St. Paul's since the Queen's Jubilee was celebrated in June. The joy that filled those streets just months ago is now replaced with flowers and memories as preparations begin for a final farewell.
In a little over a week's time, we will come together as a nation, as a Commonwealth, and indeed a global community, to lay my beloved mother to rest In our sorrow, let us remember and draw strength from the light of her example.
We've witnessed a powerful outpouring of emotion here in London, but the same is also happening back home. So many Canadians are expressing how much the Queen meant to them. The lucky ones had the chance to meet her in person. Most, though, just admired her strength and devotion from afar. All of those stories came together on Parliament Hill in Ottawa as the empty pages of a book of condolence were quickly and thoughtfully filled. The book resting on a table outside Rideau Hall, adorned with flowers and a photo of the Queen. The Canadian flag lowered as a makeshift memorial continues to grow. Some came on foot to sign the book, others by bicycle.
Well, I've had a lot of admiration for the Queen for a long time. She's the only Queen I know of we've ever had, and I thought I came on a 30-kilometer bike ride to come and do this because I thought it needed to be done.
One visitor felt the need to attend today to honor the Queen's accomplishments during her reign.
Well, she's always been my queen since I was a 10-year-old girl, so it's to pay my respects. She meant my country, yeah, and she was the most fantastic woman. So as if you're looking even at it from women's rights, she's certainly the leader.
Another grew up in England and attended the Queen's coronation as a teenager back in 1953.
I was at the Queen's coronation. I can't say I was at it. I was in a building looking down when I was 14. I remember being in school and being called into assembly the day her father died. So people are saying they've only known one monarch. Now I'm going to know three.
The venue is a significant one, as Rideau Hall serves as the monarchy's official residence in Canada. Over the years, several trees on site have been planted by the Queen. Today, a black ribbon rests at the foot of one of those trees in her memory. Now, if you make your way across Canada, you'll find a ribbon of love within the wide range of connections to Queen Elizabeth. That bond is particularly strong in Toronto, a city that hosted so many royal visits over the years. We begin our local coverage tonight with Mark McAllister. Mark.
Lisa, 7 times Queen Elizabeth came to Toronto, each for different reasons, but one thing was constant: the impact she had on the people here and the city as a whole.
She has been amazing. She has taught us the principles of life. And nobody can dispute that.
A feeling shared across the world today and echoed by others signing a book of condolences at City Hall. Queen Elizabeth's visits to Toronto began as a princess in 1951 in place of her ailing father, and the first chance for the people here to feel her presence. She would visit again in 1959 as Queen, as part of her royal tour of Canada, with the streets crowded to see her motorcade along Bay Street before a visit to Woodbine Racetrack and High Park.
The Queen's visits really ranged over the time from a variety of different things that really represented the change in Toronto.
With each of those visits, the admiration grew, but her imprint on the city grew as well.
What do you think her impact on this city specifically may have been?
I think it was her connection with people. But a lot of these visits and whatnot were a way for her to continue her presence, to continue to remind Canadians of how much she cares about them, and for the rest of her family too. The Duke of Edinburgh, of course, visited with her, cared greatly about stewardship and conservation, and things of that are very important to people who live in the city of Toronto.
In the Royal York Hotel, where the Queen and Prince Philip would reside when in the city, and where dinners were held in her honor, a wreath and flowers have been placed below official photos.
I'm on holiday from Australia, and we are great supporters of the royal family, and very saddened to see this happen.
I'm sad because I've been looking at her and knowing her family and everything else, and saw her in Ottawa. So my daughter, she couldn't believe it either, and extremely sad.
Even the customers at Toronto's British pubs are raising glasses in the Queen's honor, where walls are dedicated to Her Majesty.
What an incredible person, incredible human. He's done so much. beloved around the world. I think it's it's a sad time.
She would return again for her final visit in 2010. A different city for sure, the feelings carried by many who saw her from the start.
I just respect the woman so much, and we're going to miss her. The world is going to miss her.
16 mayors have held office in Toronto during Queen Elizabeth's reign. John Tory took some time today at City Hall to speak about how he had the chance to meet her, the grace, the dignity that she had, and the values that she brought to the city as well. Much more happening in the city as well. Let's bring in Richard Southern to tell us what's happening here at Queen's Park.
I'll tell you, Mark, Queen's Park has really become a gathering point for many who are looking to pay their respects to the late monarch. I want to give you a live look at a growing memorial that is at the base of the Queen Victoria statue behind me. Multiple bouquets of flowers. A note there reading, "We mourn our Queen, God save the King." Inside the legislature building, a book of condolences is now available to be signed, and many people streamed in today to do just that. Everyone coming to sign their name and leave a message had their own reasons for doing so, but most made mention of the late Queen's unwavering commitment to duty.
Queen Elizabeth certainly devoted her entire life to our service, her to serve us. I wrote, "Well done, ma'am. Thank you for your service."
For some, signing the book was an intergenerational affair, like Rhonda, who brought down her 13-year-old grandson, Gabe.
I've never had any other monarch while I've been alive.
That's true for a lot of people, I think, right?
For me too.
Yeah.
The year I was born was the year she was coronated.
Others felt compelled to come to Queen's Park and pay their respects because of something the Queen did every December 25th.
My most important memory of the Queen was always her Christmas message.
And so I wish you all, young and old, wherever you may be, all the fun and enjoyment and the peace of a very happy Christmas.
Others came to Queen's Park today to sign the book of condolence drawn by the historic nature of the moment.
Thought it was a very historic event, and I've watched her for all these years, and she loves Canada, so we are Canadians, so we just came here. We came here and took the GO train all the way from Stouffville.
It wasn't just those from the GTA. Tourists found their way to the legislature as well, like Art, who's visiting from Phoenix.
We were touched by the news of the Queen's death and wanted to sign the condolence book.
So you're from Phoenix. Did you actively look up where the book was? How did you find Queen's Park?
Well, it said Queen, and we thought that looks like a place we should go today.
Now, if you want to come down and sign the book, it's just inside the main doors of Queen's Park here, and you can see there's a lot of matters of protocol going on. The portrait of the Queen next to the condolence book has the black mourning shroud around it. You know, it wasn't just Torontonians and tourists signing their name here today. So were many dignitaries. Premier Ford, Lieutenant Governor Elizabeth Dodswell, and the Speaker of the Legislature, Ted Arnott, all came to pay their respects and sign the Book of Condolence. A similar scene played out in Brampton City Hall, where the mayor of that city, Patrick Brown, also signed a book of condolence there. Now, the book is closed for tonight, but you will have plenty of time to sign it if you wish. It'll be open 9 to 5 all weekend long and all next week. The book will then be sent to the royal family at Buckingham Palace.